Star Trek Lower Decks is very, very pleasant casual viewing. I really liked rewatching it this last week. I really have. Now, I don't care about Star Trek at all. I mean, Chris Pine makes a very cute lead, and so does Zoe Sandala, forgive me. Yeah, they're very cute leads, but it was a pretty meh movie, and yeah, I've never cared to stop and watch it on TV. No. I've also never cared to see Star Wars. Is there a difference? Well, Star Trek has the uniforms and Star Wars now has Baby Yoda, but that's all I can tell you. That is about it. Yeah, that's it. But the fun thing is, you don't really have to be a Star Wars fan to appreciate this show. I'm sure actual Trekkies can really love it, more for coming back this way and making it fresh, or, angry nerds are not going to be happy with how it's not like the same serious tone as, these big space exploring shows are. I mean, just from watching it, I can kind of get that that's what it's trying to copy. It's like, yes, we have a very important job. We are a very respected organization, blah, 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 blah. Like, you can see there's dignity in this job, but oof, it gets played with. Not like to a really like horribly insulting effect, just more like, okay, yeah, yeah. There are some people that aren't really like, the magazine cover faces of the show and they're still doing the job, but messy. But there's the charm in it. There's the charm. It's like a workplace sort of thing. It's like Archer, but less dirty. And honestly, yeah, the people aren't as miserable, so they can actually kind of do their jobs more successfully. They aren't really looking for the credit. It's just more of, okay, yeah, we are a big team. Let's try to do this right so we don't, I don't know, fall out of the spaceship. Or just because, yeah, this is an important job and I don't want to be kicked out of it because losing this opportunity would just be devastating. That is like made very serious in every action they do, and I can respect that. I really can. And I can also respect other aspects of this show really, really well. Can I just say that I think Beckett Mariner is a fascinating character. She really is. She seems like the loser party girl and all of that who's just having fun, but no, she's smart. She actually, has been to so many places because she's traveled her whole life, and yes, she knows how to sit down and talk to people. Or aliens. Though the way they use the word alien in this show, it seems to only be good when, like, the aliens are enemies, but it seems that, aliens also work on the ship, so, yeah, that terminology is weird to me. But anyway, yeah, Mariner is a fascinating character, okay? She's smart, but yeah, she's been kicked off a bunch of ships and all that because she thinks, she's too smart to break the rules. Though she is one of those, like good kind of rule breakers where she's trying to help the other people and she's trying to get things done a little bit smoother without having to dot the I's and such, okay? I've had those kind of jobs and all that. I no longer work there anymore and it sucks. But I do think I made, the person on the receiving end's life a little easier, and when they didn't know it, I think my bosses were happy to have a smooth running ship. I'm not saying it's honorable, but it's pretty understandable from where I am, and I like her for that. I really do. I like how you could just tell her voice actress is having so much fun with this. Like, oh my god, the passion in it and the sarcasm is just fantastic. And yeah, obviously she has to be a Trekkie because she says like the names of like the famous other like older Star Trek people with such ease, with such joy. Whew, yeah, like the most recent episode was when her commander captain, who she's always like being super rude to, it's like, dude, come on. Yeah, she is sent to therapy. And yeah, because this is a science fiction show, instead of just going to therapy, I mean, she goes for one session, she makes this giant virtual room. It reminds me of Ovid's Playroom, and I guess that's what Ovid based it off of. Anyway, yeah, she does this thing where she makes this entire scenario. Oh, and her like friend like pre-programmed it to have like the exact reactions that the actual crew would have, which I found to be very interesting because it could have been so easy for, the characters just have said, hey, I'm a big poopy head. I am, the thing that the subordinates don't really like. Instead, they were acting like their characters. And yeah, it made the reactions so much more real, so much more viable. It was good. But anyway, Mariner, because she was angry, decided, hey, I'm the villain. You guys treat me like the villain, and now I'm going for it. And yeah, she is like destroying the ship. Her friend is like, whoa, you gotta step back, girl. Like, this is getting weird. You remember these people have names. It's like, yeah, they also are those people that do this and do that and do all the things I don't like having to see and deal with. So yeah, and then, big spoiler, like huge spoiler. I highly recommend you see the episode because it is so worth it. You can pause this now if you want. Just know that it's a worthy show. But yeah, Mariner has to like fight the other version of herself, and yeah, because it's programmed to be accurate, they are talking to each other, and yeah, it's like incredibly hard and intense therapy, but you're watching a cool action sequence while it's happening. And yeah, I just thought it was really good for her character, and I just thought it was a very well done moment. It like lazier people would have done this like so wrong and would have just like said like in two sentences all that needs to be changed and fixed of them. But no, they went into detail. They said it smoothly and poignantly, and I found that wonderful. Whew, yeah, it was good. It was good. Mariner, you are the gym, and you are the reason I come back to this show. Like, no argument. The other, like, characters, you got Brad Boyer. I don't even think that's his name, but yeah, he's a Morty. He is a sad little marshmallow. But the show is funny because this marshmallow keeps getting punched and still keeps crying. I don't pity this guy at all, but it is amazing how much he just has not learned, okay? Every time for a moment he thinks he has dignity, he is just like squealing and crying in a corner. Maybe I do have pity for him, but oh god, pitiful character. I mean, he is the representation of, yeah, okay, I'm that nerd who I read everything and everything about joining this academy and all. I love and support this very, very much. I know all facts. But yeah, put that loser on a spaceship with actual problems and an actual job, and he has no idea how to handle it. It's so well done. So Boyer, you're kind of a meh character to me, but your soft gooiness and your incredibly, underdeveloped self is very, it's fun against, Manners more, like grittier, like has been there and seen something. When she said, I want to be your mentor, I was like, yeah, this kid needs it, and I think you need to do something positive, girl, so go for it. Like, that duo makes sense to me. I think it's so cute. And unlike Rick and Morty, where Rick is Morty's grandpa and all that, it's like, yeah, you kind of owe it to Morty. You're really there for his mom, and yeah, you're kind of a messed up dude, so maybe you're not the best influence. It's so kind of cool that you're there for your grandson, you're there for this kid. Yeah, and this kid, turns out to be there for you once in a while. So yeah, even though Rick and Morty is filled with the characters' disappointments, that's why it's so well written, okay? Yeah, and the show has a lot of great animation style like Rick and Morty. It doesn't get to those soul-piercing conversations that Rick and Morty does, but again, Rick and Morty is more of a, okay, you can only watch like one episode once in a while kind of thing, versus this show that really I can watch 2 or 3 episodes while I'm doing stuff around the house, and yeah, I giggle lightly, it's nice. Let's see, the other lower deck characters, like Mariner and Boyle's, I'm just gonna call him Boyle, I don't care if it's wrong, they're kind of like two sides of the same coin, alright? There's the cyborg dude, and there's this happy green alien girl. Honestly, they're both very, very happy, very perky characters who, they worked hard, they like their jobs, and they're happy to be there. Terror and, torture and all kinds of other just awful things are happening on the job, but this is exactly what they were hoping for, and it's more, and they are just so happy to be there. Yeah, it's sweet. It's like, oh, so much happiness. You think it gets annoying after a while? But even when it's illogical, it's so honest, and I just find it so refreshing. Again, Rick and Morty and Archer, miserable adults. So miserable. I appreciate them for being that, but I appreciate this show for not being that. So yeah, that makes it special to me. Now, the captains, yeah, they take their lower deck people for granted, and that sucks, but they're not completely flat. They're not bad at their own jobs. They're not. They are doing their jobs to the best of their abilities, and yeah, they're not really like fun to talk to and all that, but you can respect them for being good at what they do. They genuinely are. And I think they do stop and listen, mostly to Cyborg Kid because he shows them such mutual respect without having like any, hitches in his personality to make it harder for everyone else. I mean, he kind of got a little bit of an autistic thing to him, which I guess is more endearing, but yeah, he is just a sweetheart. It's very sweet. So yeah, I appreciate how they make the captains more rounded, sympathetic, while still being, the bosses no one really wants to talk to. Oh, and our Captain Freeman. goodness, like, God, as free spirited and like fun and rebellious as Mariner is, this woman, whew, she is strict. She is always 3 inches away from just like stomping people. I'm not saying she's Mallory because she doesn't have the drinking problem, but yeah, she is overbearing, and it's not just with Mariner. She is like just has these ridiculous standards for everybody. But she's not a bad captain. No, I think, yeah, she's handling this crew very, very well. But she's also a very funny character because she is never satisfied, ever. And it is so funny. So, yeah, I find this show to be very well written without, trying to prove a point too strongly. It's really just, you're here, you're on a spaceship, it's like a dream come true. Here's the fun. But here's also the reality of what your choices are and how it affects the other people around you. Because, again, this is a team job. You have to be good at being on a team. And for the most part, I think this crew is good for working with each other. I do. I haven't seen the new season of Archer, so I can't say how that team is working right now. But yeah, the fun of at least old Archer episodes is watching them just implode and just like tear each other down at the very end. How they do it is the treasure. How? As for Rick and Morty, their thing is their choices. They always choose to continue with, they make a decision and they just have to go with it. And it's done slowly and oftentimes painful, but still with some dignity. And that's what makes it such a good and special show. But sometimes when I don't want to feel those hard things, or when I just don't feel like watching, stupid, pretty people mess things up worse, yeah, that's when I say watch Lower Decks. It is just funny. It is actiony without, trying too hard. It is just the right amount. Honestly, for the whole, I give the show like a good solid B+. I like it. I recommend it to people who don't mind space stuff or, fun, nerdy stuff like that. Can I recommend for anybody? I think kids would be fine with it. I think nuances would be lost on them, but I think for the most part it is pretty likable. Like, it's humor because it's not so dirty or because it's not like too salted. I think any age can appreciate it, but you gotta just accept the whole, space thing and how, yeah, these characters will have aliens and other mutants shooting out of their chest. Every time you think it's an easy problem to fix and all that, it kind of is, but you just gotta go through the motions. It's a very, very pleasant show. I found out that it's gonna have like season finale next week, but I really hope it gets picked up again because I just met you guys and I want to see more of Lower Deck. I really do.